Let's now have a look at some basic transform controls for layers. Now, transform controls are things like the position, scale, rotation, and the opacity of a layer. And you'll find them all next to the label color here. On the left-hand side, there's a little triangle next to every single layer. And if you click on that, let's say we go and click on this one for the sun, that will open up the transform controls. And under that is going to be your set of basic transform controls, which will include things like the position, scale, rotation, opacity, and the anchor point. An anchor point here may be the one that you're not so familiar with. We'll explain that as well in just a second. Now you can either choose to see all of them at the same time, like we just did here, or you can see one at a time by using some shortcuts on the keyboard. Those shortcuts are as follows. If you press the letter P on the keyboard for position, that's going to show you the position property. And in this case, because I didn't have any of the layers selected, it actually shows me the position property of every single layer. So if I press P again, that's going to make all of them go away. And if I click on the layer itself, so if I select the sun layer, then press P, that's going to show me the position of the sun layer. And just like we saw before, if you go and press P again, that's going to disappear. And if you want to see rotation, you press the letter R. And for scale, it's S. And for opacity, it's T. And finally, for the anchor point, it's A. So there we have it. These are the shortcuts for all those properties. P for position, R for rotation, A for anchor point, S for scale, and T for opacity. Now, if you wanted to see more than one property at a time, let's say for example you want to see the position, so P, together with the scale. So for that, you press Shift, then press S. Every time you use Shift and add one of those shortcuts, that's going to add that property to the existing property. So if I go and press Shift R, that's going to show me rotation as well. And if I now press Shift S, that's going to make the scale disappear. So I can see more of these at the same time or less, depending on how I use the shortcuts. If I want to see all of the properties again, I can either go and click back on this arrow, and then click on it again, and then it will show me all the properties. Or if I'm seeing only one, let's say for example I press the letter P, and I want to see all the rest of it, I can press Command and tilde, that will collapse all of that, and then Command and tilde again, that's that squiggly key between Shift and Z, or this is the one next to the letter 1 or above Tab, depending on your keyboard layout. So if I press Command and that key, that's going to reveal all of those properties again. In the next tutorial, we'll have a look at how to change these values.